All right, and welcome back to the Hype Mind, guys. I am one of your hosts, and today we have a special guest with us today. Cam, you're out there in Providence, huh? You're the local rapper, huh?
Absolutely. Been doing it since like on record, like on like actual records. I want to say like 2017. I got a horrible memory.
So
Like
7 years.
2017, 2017.
How many records do you have?
Right now that's out 60.
Hey, you got a good memory there, huh? Well, it's neat because we've never had a any sort of a musician who has albums out on our podcast. So changing up a little. We got our own questions because we've thought about just for fun making our own album, just for the heck of it, just to see if we could do it. So I'm curious to know what goes into that for you. Like, I imagine it's a lot of work. Do you write your own songs? I
Oh
have a
yeah,
question.
absolutely. That was like the main thing was just like writing. That was like the only thing I had in the beginning, and it's it, it's super hard, but you just got it. Just
I
takes a lot of
bet.
focus. I'm a really like spazzy guy, so I'm just like even now like I'm walking around and stuff like I can't sit still, so it's like hard for me to like sit still at times. But to teach myself to just like actually just sit there and just write for like 2 hours straight and then practice it takes a lot. It takes a lot, but every time it's like I'll wake up the next morning and I have something I can look at and I'm like, oh, I could just use this, or it's not like a specific song. It's never uh like I have all the equipment in my house right now. Like say if I want I have hundreds of beats, but it's just picking the right lyrics to the right like beat sometimes. Cause once you make the song, you're like so sick of hearing the same beat that you made for like 3 days straight. So
Yeah.
after that, it's kind of hard to make lyrics on top of that. So
Hmm.
I'll rap over like industry beats, like not like what people are rapping on now, but like just like anything that crosses my mind, and I'm like, all right, I'll rap to this and write like a whole three verse to a whole song, not pertaining to anything, just making sure that the flow works. It's just fresh in my mind, and I can do it, and then I'll translate it to another beat.
Huh.
Do you do you
Or
find yourself sometimes coming up with lyrics before you find your soundtrack,
yeah, a
or
lot
do
of
you
I
come up
like
with it while you're after you find your soundtrack?
it. It's like a mixture of both. I never have like a single one. It's more like just it's whatever I have on hand at the time. Like right now, I have like nothing written. Like I've been working so much, so I can't even like I never really had time in the past like I'd say like 2 or 3 months to really like work on stuff. Right now is like I have like two verses right now, and I'm amazed that I even conjured up that
Cool. Cam, what's your favorite lyric?
like of mine or like
Yeah.
of all time.
No. Well,
Well,
let's do both actually.
Um,
Start with yours.
I can never think of like favorites like off the top of the head.
what's one you
I
always
I have
say?
like
Has one become a motto for you?
I think some are funny, if anything. Like I'll laugh at some of them. I always rap really serious. Like I'm not like a dude that's like there's like people out there that are like really like not self like serious about the stuff, and but like outside of it, like I don't really take like things I made a year ago still as seriously as when I did. So like I have this one. It was just like watching Ancient Mysteries with Leonard Nimoy. Like I just said that, and it was just I'll just say that. It's like every once in a while, just like watching Ancient Mysteries with Leonard Nimoy. It's just so preposterous. If you don't know who Leonard Nimoy is,
Oh, yeah, I
he
don't.
was the
Yeah.
dude on Star Trek. He was Spock,
Oh,
Oh.
and he
oh,
did he did a History Channel. He did like a History Channel show where he would just narrate like ancient Babylonia. Was it real? it was
That's
it was
funny.
real fun.
Yeah.
huh. Huh.
A
But
favorite
but
lyric of all
everything
time.
you rap, is it is it realistic? Is it genuine?
Yeah,
Like it makes sense? It's too fast for me. I've listened to a bunch of your stuff and I enjoy listening to a bunch of your stuff.
a lot of like, especially like the early stuff. Like the early stuff, like I cringe at hearing it. Like my most popular shit. Like I just, and when I say popular, it's not like popular. It's like I don't know, maybe like 500 views. But like I try to rap about things that I've seen with my actual eyes. Like not like I don't know. There's a bunch of rappers out there that are like they'll try to live vicariously through what they're seeing on their phone, and then just be like, "I seen the injustices. I see the pain, and I see the suffering of the
Yeah.
some random people. The fucking it's hard
They've
sometimes.
never experienced it. They're just
Yeah,
they just kind of put themselves in that and pretend that that's their world too.
like it's not even like experiencing like any like I'm not saying that I'm over here in trenches or anything like that. Like there's I I say in my songs like where I live is like sweet. Like it doesn't like I've been to places that are awful, like
Yeah.
horrible, and it's I'm glad I'm over here for the meanwhile. Like it just if
What's
any
your
other
story, bro?
situations. Say again.
What's your story? Where are you coming from?
I've been here my whole life basically. Just born and raised. My dad was a Portuguese immigrant. My mom was born here. My dad actually got me into rapping.
You did.
Really?
Yes. He was rapping like in the 90s, like just trying to do what I'm doing now.
How old is he?
Honestly, he's pushing like 5-0 right now.
Oh, he's young.
I'm
You're like
thinking
old.
73 or some shit like that. He was born. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's younger than one of my cars. Cool.
But
Wow, so he is pretty big into hip hop himself then.
yeah, I was like raised listening to like Biggie Smalls, Tupac, like basic things, like nothing like things that they sell on T-shirts now at Target,
Right.
and
That's your next rap
but
line.
my dad put me on to like also like really crazy people that were like he would always be saying something that always ended up being true in some way, shape. That not all the time, but like sometimes he'd be on to something. Like my whole life, he was saying fuck P Diddy, not fuck Biggie Smalls, not fuck like anything like that, but just like fuck P Diddy, like he's just a piece of shit. And my whole life it's been like that. And then everybody finds out that he's a piece of garbage. It's like, well, yeah, or like my dad was always like, Will Smith is so fake. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where is this coming from? And then when he slapped Chris Rock out, he was just like, I told you so. I was just like, I was like, damn.
Got that 6th sense.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's awesome. No,
So if you
what's their era?
if you rapped what your dad said, then you would be predicting the future for a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe you
he
should
needs
start
to rap
doing
it
that.
himself. I've had him on a song once. I've been pushing him to try to write more, but I don't think he's written a verse in a minute, like a new one. Like I think he has like ones that he still remembers from like the 90s. It's crazy like how you still keep that in your system. Like I couldn't be able to do that. But yeah, no, like it a big part of it was like for my dad. Like he's not like he was never no powerful person or anything like that. Like he was just like a regular average working person. And then
Who just like to rap, huh?
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Wait, so you did a song together. You have it in your album?
Oh yeah, I want to say it's the first album. Yeah, it's the first
The one
album.
you don't like.
It's what? Say it again.
The one you don't like because you said you didn't like your old stuff.
No, I like. No,
Cringe,
when I talk
cringe
about
was the word you used.
old stuff is like SoundCloud days and like I put out singles like there's like a good couple singles that I put out that was like if I try to listen to it now I can't and like people be like no this is good like I don't see why like it's just you change. It's not that I hate it and I hate who I was. It's just like I've grown past that. It's just
You've seen better from
yeah,
yourself.
Yeah, I found it. Hyperness.
Paul Farias. Yeah,
Yep, that's right.
yep.
I gotta give that one a listen. That's funny. That's awesome too.
He's a real ass dude though. You gotta listen to what he's saying in that. Like he says some crazy shit.
Ah,
He was
damn,
talking-
crazy shit.
one of his friends growing up, he got like caught for life in prison for doing just being around some stupid shit. And he'll talk about that.
Wrong
That guy's
place,
actually
wrong
out now.
time.
He's actually out now. He's like a fitness guru now. Like I think they like commuted his sentence or something like that, and now he's out. But
Wow.
shit, he's a lucky ass dude.
Oh, and he talked about him in the song.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
So
Yeah.
where are you trying to go with it? Is this a hobby for you?
Right now it is. Right now, I'd say like if I was to say anything other than that'd be like a lie. Because like if I said it wasn't more than a hobby, I'd be like getting money consistently enough to feed myself and whatnot. If I was to do shows and stuff like that and put myself out there in that respect, I'd be making kind of money. But I feel like a lot of that stuff is too much work. It's like when you're on stage, like say you're on stage, it's gonna be at a bar, like maybe in like the Tucket or like somewhere, it's nothing big. And you basically have to hassle a guy for your own money at the end of the show. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Well,
we've had great shows.
You have to get past though to get to like being on your own stage, like being hosted in Hartford at the Xfinity Center or Boston at the Garden.
You'd need to justify the prices to people. Like they'd have to be people in a boardroom that go, yeah, no, we could just.
But don't you have to start small there though, with hassling people in little clubs that'll let you get a half-hour act on for rapping?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's people with the talent to they're really inclined to that, and then they go. And I just never felt like I was really ready to be like, okay, I'm gonna take this route and like be face to face with these people. I'm saving that for when I have like a really good song. Like it's like, oh, it actually makes waves. Like it's not like a couple people listen to it and it's like, oh, this is good. Like I want something to make waves, and then I'll take that step because I've seen the out. Oh man. I'm sorry, the fire department wanted to chime in. Yes, beep. I've seen
our fire department.
East Providence Fire Department. Thank you for your service.
Shout out.
I've seen the end of it. I've seen the end of like doing things on stage and stuff like that, and it's basically it's not what I want to do right now. It's so like I've gone to like West Bumblefuck and just like did like a 15-minute and then had to leave, and it's just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? This is not gaining anything. Like
bar.
Meeting what we did, not even me, I'm not even gonna give myself any credit, but my two friends, Daylon and Connor, they said fuck all that. We're gonna make our own music studio. So say if you wanted to record a song, you come over, they record it, mix it, engineer anything you ask for, and it was like at starting price it was $20 an hour. It was dirt cheap just to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically just pay rent and just do that, and we had like sweatshirts, we had merch and everything, and then at some point it just became it like we had a landlord come through and it was like, you're gonna have to pay $600 more a month, and we were like, no. So we kind of dissipated the physical, but we opened during COVID, and we were like packed schedules. Like people still call us like can we get some time? Can we get some time? Like, it's like, no, the place isn't open anymore. We will
Damn.
open again. Just we need advice to everyone. You need to buy like physical property. Like as I'm sitting here in my apartment, like you shouldn't have to live life for people telling you what to do and how to live your life, because we basically had the dude sell us we were the first people in this like little, it wasn't even like a business plaza, but it was like a single floor building complex, small in Rumford. The dude was like, yes, you could blare music as loud as you want. We don't care what you do. Go ahead. It's fine. In the contract, you could blast music and do whatever.
That's
And then
cool.
a couple months later, this lady who was selling candles was like, she was really friendly with us at first, and then she just became really racist, and then just saying things that weren't possible. She was saying that her crystal collection was flying off the walls because of how loud our music was. And for something as dense as a crystal, for something as geologically dense as a crystal to fly off a wall because of sound, we'd be having to fly like a Concorde jet in the
Everybody
building. You know what
watching
I'm saying?
has to. Yeah, now they
I,
have
I
to
thought
music.
crystals had those powers to begin with, though.
If it makes crystals bounce off walls.
Bring them in.
She would just
should
call the
use
guy
that.
and just be like, this, and this. They're doing this, and this. And we were just honestly doing what we agreed, which was making music. We weren't bothering any neighbors. We would ask the neighbor, like people that lived next door, and we're like, is anything too loud? They're like, no, we actually like your music. Keep blaring it. And when we left, the lady was like, yeah, I'm gonna miss hearing your music and stuff. Like it was really like one sided.
Yeah. We got two
It's like,
parts of it. You got the business aspect you're talking about now, and you got the whole art aspect too. And it seems like
the dude
right
who
now
was
you had some experience with the business aspect, but it's not something you're doing right now.
What did you experience racially from her? You don't have to repeat it
I
all.
wasn't there.
Just curious.
I wasn't there personally to see what was racist, but we have many members that are different colors, shapes, and forms. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we form.
Yeah.
That's how our thing is blue wave poetic. So we don't like, it's not just me all the time. It's a bunch of
Right.
people when we're making music. Like if it wasn't for the aforementioned friends Daylon and Connor to help me learn how to make music, I wouldn't be making music. But I think it was just something along the lines of they had a confrontation, and she would treat different parties a different sort of way depending on what skin color they were. Like absolutely different types of ways, like as if they were criminals versus like other humans.
Right. Damn.
But it was
Well,
weird. The landlord was an interesting creature of himself, because we didn't know, but at the time he embezzled $4 million from the Boston homeless shelters, and he got caught with it. So what our studio was bought out fund. He gave his wife all of his stuff before he went in, and he's moving around the fund, so he gave it to his wife, had it in his wife's name, but he's taking care of it. And once we found out and put the two and two together, we were like, oh shit, man, this guy's gonna give us problems. And he did. And he absolutely did.
Damn. Well, that's
Out of Boston homeless
nuts.
shelter. His name was Manuel Duran. He's a real guy. I'm not just making this up. Manuel Duran. Actual human being.
Yeah, 4 million isn't that much in perspective, you know. Couldn't buy some airplanes with it. So you guys are planning to at some point get back with that, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
It
We
sounds
just
like you're
want to be
really
in a
rolling.
position where we make the rules. We own the property. No one can ever kick us out, because
Police, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're into it to write and to mix beats with it and to produce your own album. You're not really shooting for a stage. You're shooting for just putting your content out there and having fun making it.
I want ears first. Like, I want people to be like, have enough of a reason to care about me. I don't want to just walk around places, even though I think that's probably how people just get where they go is they're just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know, like, I never know what I'm doing, dude. I'm still
Right.
always learning. Like, at the end of the day, like, I let people judge it, and if there's not like a public outcry to hear more of it, I'm not gonna put myself in positions to fail like that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be on some big stage. Like, I think the biggest thing we ever did was PVD Fest. We did it twice. It was nice. It was nice. No problems had. It was great. Like, if we could keep doing stuff like that, like consistently, I'd be down. Like, cause it's just like
What was that?
PVD Fest. It's like the city's like Heritage Days festival kind of thing. Like, a
Huh.
bunch of events show up and they have like big stages for people to rap on and whatnot. We did another one for Pawtucket, which was also really cool. We performed with a dude that used to make beats for Big L. We didn't perform with him, but we were on the same lineup as him. It was pretty dope. It was
Right. So
nice.
you were like an opener, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sick. Oh, that's cool. Dope.
Yeah,
Like
that's
if it was,
When did you
I
start? This was just something as your dad showed you. You just started putting stuff on paper.
he always had like his little basement studio downstairs with his like a Kai MPC drum machines and stuff, mixers and stuff, and like it always looked alien to me. But like if he was making a beat and I came downstairs, he wouldn't like tell me to get out or anything. Like he would just be like, "This is what this is," and sampling it came really natural to me at that point because it wasn't like alien. Like if I was trying to make a beat, if I heard something like that I really liked, there's a way to manipulate that and make it into a 4-beat progression at least. Like if you could just make the 4-beat progression, like as annoying as it is, like you got to start from somewhere. Like just start with a little loop, put a bunch of sounds on it, and if it sounds halfway decent, you got yourself a beat. Like
Hmm.
there's no really wrong ways of doing it. Like especially if you like believe like what Miles Davis was teaching. Like I think it was Miles Davis. I could be incorrect, but he was basically like you could play the wrong notes as long as you play them enough times. Like people are just gonna consider it as good.
So you make your own beats too.
Yeah, I was taught. I was taught. It was a long process. That was a lot of trial and error. Still is.
Right. Are all of your songs your own beats?
No, 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 no. A lot of them from my dude Connor Finelli, aka Counterfeit Beats, and the other chunk of portion is from Daylon, Andre.
Sick.
Huge portion out of it.
A lot that goes into this.
yeah.
Kinda what
So, Andrew, what kind of music you trying to make?
Say again?
I'm talking to Andrew now. What kind of music
Oh,
you trying to make, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, it would just be fun to like do some sort of a hip hop version of something, but I listen to everything. I feel like that's a very cliche thing to say, but uh, I think I cover that pretty well when I say that.
well, that's a
Um,
good thing. That's a good thing because if you're open to different sounds, like you can't, especially with sampling, you can't sample. Like, say if I was trying to make throw a guy out there, I don't know, fucking Raekwon. I was trying to make a Raekwon beat. Like, first of all, you're trying to make something. Are you gonna just use the same sounds? You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to everything, you have a different, well, not a different ear, but you have an ear to be like, I can make this me. I can bring this to me. Make this a part of me without staying into a really small box.
so you start with your beats most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. If they're good enough, I want it to shine, and I'll do the best of my ability to actually like write the whole thing in one shot. But I have hundreds of beats that are just lying around, and then Connor and Daylon on top of us, we literally have thousands of beats. We have thousands of PDF files with songs and stuff. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Wow.
That's awesome that you haven't turned into like and put into an album and recorded.
Yeah.
Cool.
How long does it take to make a beat most of the time? I mean, when you're doing it, average. I'm sure you can do it real quick, but
Sometimes it could take like 5 minutes, like really quick, like, and then sometimes like it could take weeks. Like I'll sit there, like I still have Like I have a beat that's like it's called this, and then the next one will be like this for real this time, and then I'll upload it again and it's like no for real this time. Like you think you're done with something, but then you'll hear it and be like, oh no, something's got to change.
Right. The
But for
original
the most part,
version. Oh yeah, the way.
it's like 5 minutes
Huh. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like nope, on to the next, nope, on to the next. Like it's like this is as much as I'll get out of this, and then if it's really good, it's a couple hours. It's a really good beat. Like that's one out of like I'd say 50 for me
Yeah.
personally.
Who do you like to listen to, Cam?
Right now I've been listening to like just easy shit, just like Bobby Caldwell, Billy
No.
Joel, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
grandpa music.
Cool.
Just trying to listen to stuff. DeBarge is amazing. Like Blondie, like really just almost cringe-worthy stuff. Like just when I'm making music, I like to try something like cinematic though. Like I like listening to movie music. Like
Yeah.
when that set a scene and stuff. I love
That's
that.
what hypes you up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of great music out there that can, I don't know, amp you up in its own way, but I feel like music movie moves you almost spiritually.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for the last 3 days because there's certain rhythms that they shift to that just they make me want to get off my ass and do something dope. So yeah.
That's sometimes I have to look at like other producers. Like I watch a video of them making beats and that gets me feeling like that. Like that really like watching The Alchemist and like I can't remember what. It was for the infantry, but he put out like a little hour documentary. And it was like shot with like a little camera. And he's just sitting there. He'll be like dicking around and then him making the beat and then the beat is just so hard it's just like you just want to make something like that.
Yeah.
Not like it, but you want to do things in that aspect where you're like, oh, like I'm really doing something right now.
It sounds like making music of any type is very similar. It sounds like the place you really have to start from is with some sort of a rhythm or a beat or some sort of a background for it before you can even start writing. That's been my experience anytime I've tried to write something anyway myself is,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, I'll come up with a line and I'll be like, oh, this sounds like it should be in a song. And I'll be like, okay, but I can't write any other line until I know what the tune that's behind it is.
I'm right there with you. Like if like that's why battle rapping like it's not like the craziest thing in the world to me, but I do respect it in the aspect where they're just like rapping at each other with no beat or anything. They're just like just saying whatever,
Yeah.
just in each other's face. And it makes sense. It makes sense. It'd be hard to like really just like cue in music and then like have someone take their turn.
Well, in that situation, you're kind of building your own rhythm in your own head. Even if it's like, even if you're not saying the words with a tune in your voice, I feel like there's still
it's almost like comedians where when they're painting a scene and they're building it up and you're basically in that scene. They're building you into that rhythm and they're bringing you into that world where they're in. And that's a feat. It's a talent. It's an absolute talent.
Have you ever done that? You ever battle rapped?
No. I don't want to do that. Like I have no like look at me, you know what I'm saying? Like what would you do if you saw me? You'd laugh. Yo,
I mean, not as hard as I'd laugh if I saw me.
dude, no, I just feel like just being 5'8", like I'm not the most intimidating person. So like it wouldn't
Letting height dictate your.
there's people like I don't. Then
Yeah,
again,
that's
it's all
why you use your speech.
Say again.
That's why you use your speech.
Yeah, dude. Your speech is your knife. That's your height. Your speech is your extra whatever. How many inches you want to be tall
or whatever.
I mean, I'm Italian, so I'm pretty short. So
No, there's nothing like it. It's all about who you are. Like I don't like. I always took battle rapping as like like a super serious man's game. Like if you were like and like height has nothing to do with it. I just never sought myself out to be as like I'm gonna physically abuse you with words right now. Nah. Like I don't have people. There's a couple people out there that's kind of shitty, but they'll get their own in karma. Like I have no reason to speak on it.
But
Like
you would battle rap them if you had the chance.
there would have to be a considerable amount of money. They would have to be like there'd have to be a reason to do it. Like I'm not showing up at the park and just like he do today.
Mm-hmm. So you want to
Like
enjoy it at all?
have
Like,
you ever seen like go on
not your
YouTube and
thing.
watch bad rappers, just bad battle rappers, and you'll sit there and you can't like. For me, I can't watch it. And if I was to become one of those videos, I would never live that down. Like, dude, like just these dudes that have just made mockeries of the shit, and I think that's probably what like killed it and made it seem like not cool. Because like back in the day, probably early 2000s, people didn't have cameras and they're sitting there rapping to each other back and forth, and they leave the grade school yard like, dude, that was the hottest stuff in the world. And then like as soon as YouTube came around, people are videotaping it, and like it just all seemed whack because they didn't put any thought into it. They're there either at a park or a bar or something. Because then like at the end of the day, like I'm not doing that like unless if I was also if there was money, but if there was like people that were actual battle rappers like partaking like
Right, for
people
fun.
of the faith. You know what I'm saying? Just if they were partaking to make it like a real event, because at the end of the day I wouldn't like I'm not a battle rapper. Like I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Disrespect people.
Not your thing, I guess. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Do you pace when you write?
But
Yeah.
that's where you want to take rapping at some point is as to be a financial
Yeah. Like a
game.
leg to stand on.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all about making the smartest movements, not necessarily just like trying to be famous. Cause like I could just do some stupid shit right now and then be famous. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
That's true. Yeah.
local rapper stands on cop car, shouting obscenities. Like yeah, but how long is that gonna last?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fair. And just because I make one album doesn't make me a musician. So,
No, if you make an album, like there's a lot of work that gets put into making an album, and it's not like it's not impossible. Like I hate when people try to make it seem impossible.
what,
But you just kind of have to let it flow. Like you can't. It's never what you think it's gonna sound like in the end. Like you know what I'm saying?
that's
Yeah.
fair. I should probably drop my expectations. What,
Yeah. That's
what,
No,
okay.
not in a bad way. But I'm saying like say like
oh, I know you're not saying
Creating
it in a
it.
bad way, but realistically, don't try to confine it, right? Like you can't even picture where your brain's going to take you.
I met a lot. Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I've met a lot of people that are like they don't have any like songs per se yet, but they're like the album's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be a roller coaster that you go into, but it's gonna bring you into World War II, and then there's gonna be pterodactyls flying around, and you're gonna hear it all in the same time. And I'm like, okay. And then a couple months fly by, and like all the things that they're promising, they're letting themselves down with. You know what I'm saying? Like I never try to like pigeonhole and be like, unless if I knew I was absolutely capable of doing it. So like the last album that I put out, I was trying to do like more of a modern sound. I cringe when I say modern because like it's not like modern, but more like newer drum sounds, not like just drum breaks and stuff like that in the newer album. And I did it. Like it was something that I didn't just talk about. I just kind of necessarily captured it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people in this industry. You'll see that. Like they're trying to do things that are like impossible. But making an album, it's not impossible.
Oh, I don't think it is. Oh, yeah. But
I
speaking
guess
of people
not
in
what
the
you expect.
industry, are most of the people you hang out with,
Say that again. Yeah, yeah.
most of your
They're
friend
mostly
is
if you put yourself around smart people or smarter people than you, like you'll get so far. Like the first thing I did when I figured like I knew that there was people I used to go to school with that could rap, I wanted to hear and see what they were doing, and it aligned perfectly what I wanted to do. So these people were also not only making music, but they had a grip on their life. Like they weren't just like I've seen a lot of people come through to the studio and they are like pissed drunk. Not people that we work with, but like clients that'll come in to like do recording work, and they think it's a club. Like they think it's DLC to the club. Like they come there just to like do as many drugs as possible, drink as many shots as possible, and then at the end of the session they're like, "Dude, we're gonna be the greatest rappers in the world." And then they email us the next day with like, "Why doesn't it sound as good? What the hell's wrong?" It's like, dude, you just did freaking cocaine, 6 shots, and 5 blunts. Of course, the shit sounds different now.
So that is what the world of recording looks like.
It's better. It's better when
No, for the most part,
5 shots, whatever.
it's great. But there's a lot of characters you'll meet, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, just people that are like, wow. You're like, okay, what are you doing with your life? But then there's people, then there'll be like scary people, and you're like, oh, okay, just keep my mouth shut, and I will go home safe tonight.
You ever encounter that where that's been a problem?
What?
You ever encounter that where that's been a problem? You felt like you weren't going to make it home safe?
No, not for real. Like, not for, like legitimately. There was this one time we were pulling out of our studio, and some guy pulled out a gun because he was fighting out with some other guy. But we just booked it and left. Like, we just like, pew! We're like, we're out. But like nothing like some guys in my face like, yo. That's why I kind of just keep to myself. Like, anybody nowadays is capable of just pulling out some dumb shit. No one wants to solve a problem realistically. They just want to make it worse. They're waiting. There's a bunch of time bombs out there. They're just waiting for people to explode.
What questions do you have, Daniel?
Say again?
What questions do you have, Daniel?
Questions? No, it was just a couple things I want to mention before. I asked before if you paced while you wrote music or lyrics because of your movement. You're moving a lot. And I would do that. If I ever like think deeply about shit, I'll go and fucking pace. I'll go for a walk and I'll find clarity that way.
It's all about like just putting yourself in a position or in a place where you can't be bothered. And even like right now, I have no like, it's hard to be like in a place where you're like truly alone. Because then like you'll just like someone will come up and start talking to you and they're all thrown off, and 30 minutes later you can't even remember what you were thinking about.
What did you
take notes?
Because especially like where I was sitting at right a couple minutes ago, that's where I do most of my writing. But I'm like a really like I talk to all the neighbors, and that comes back to bite me because now I'm like, oh no, all these people love me and they want to talk to me every second, which I don't mind. It's not there's worse problems in the world, a lot worse problems in the world.
Very distracting though. Takes your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. Well, sick. We can always continue this conversation later. I got somewhere to be too, so thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Fascinating. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. And we can always add on a little more if we want. So
I could bring some of my dudes and they get to tell their part of the story, because I always feel like I can't tell the story without them because I couldn't have done it without them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, grab one of your buddies and we can get them on too.
All right.
More to it. But thanks for joining us. And it's been interesting. I never get to hear about this stuff very often. So cool. Sick, dude.
Thank you. And for anybody that wants to check it out, Cam Farias, CamFarias.
That's right. Yeah, Spotify. That's the place. That's where I
You can
found
find it on Napster if you really tried.
it. Napster.
Yeah, DistroKid hooks you up, bro.
Not familiar with that.
It's
Me neither.
I'll tell you guys about it. It's how you like upload music.
Your beats. Or your music or your beat. Are you talking your albums or you're talking the beats?
Anything. Like if you want to put something out on Apple Music, like you need to put it in a distribution program. Unless if you just want to release it on YouTube as like a video. Sorry, I'm right near a street. I'm gonna get away from them.
It's called Napster, Napster.
Yeah. Remember in like the early thousands?
I can't say I do. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, the music service for fans. So Cam Farias on Napster. That's right, guys.
Yep.
Cam Farias,
Cool,
K-R-I-A.
that's where you can find Cam.
Sick. All right, bro.
Hi, guys.
Music streaming.
That's where it all is, apparently. Thanks for hopping on, dude.
Peace,
Thank you.
everybody.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Always do. Peace.